Okay, Thursday morning, April 20, 2023. So I'll give you a little update from Restack. So as far as, first one is our grant, the Pioneer grant with Alien Worlds Galactic Hubs, our Syndicates tool set. So we crossed the first milestone yesterday officially, and now we're going to finish that off. So now what's done is that the syndicate members, members of the DAO can, choose who will be the administrator of the game for the month. So with our game, we were doing the administration, setting up tournaments and loading up prizes and whatever. Now we're putting that out to the community. So that's one of the Web3 key core DAO concepts that we have actually executed. And that is something else we have expertise on, as well as DAOs and the mechanics as far as the back end. If you have a vision of a DAO and how it's supposed to run, we can code it for you. We can code up the smart contracts so it becomes like trustless and has like all the rules enforced by mechanisms versus people or something, because people can always put variation on the rules, but once it's out there on the chain, it's immutable. So, that's where people might have an advantage, is that they can make exceptions, because that's what life is about. Life is about the details and about how to exercise judgment and make exceptions. But from the DAO theory, we can definitely code it in there. Maybe we can code overrides. I'm sure, I work with some pretty brilliant developers, so we can spar with you and come up with a good strategy on how to set up your DAO so that it can have overrides and can deal with exceptional situations. So anyhow, I didn't want to get off on that sidetrack. So yeah, that's done. And now we're actually ahead of schedule, so we expect to close off phase 2 here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's the crowdfunding platform. So that's going to get tied off here quite fast. We've already been working on that ahead. And it's actually exciting for us to have like a crypto-based crowdfunding mechanism. So that's something we can spin out of this project as well, and make that available if you're interested. The other project we picked up was Hugo the Parrot, where it's going to be, we haven't decided the technology yet, but this is a Croatian African gray parrot with 44,000 YouTube subscribers and 18,000 followers on Facebook, and some of the views are like in the millions. So this is exciting. We're going to create a token, and the sale of this token is going to be used to fund a parrot foundation. So this was a very interesting project that came our way. We're actually doing it on spec, so we're because we actually like these kind of projects, and it's already coming with a ready following. And once we educate them that not all crypto projects are bad, and it's not all rugs, because we're completely transparent, we actually deliver. So hopefully we can bring a good reputation and good use case for crypto. So people will buy these tokens, and then these, we'll launch these tokens on a decentralized exchange and small centralized exchange in the first round, and that'll raise enough money hopefully to get us to build up the following and, build up the awareness so we can get launched on a major exchange. And then once the people own these tokens, if they hold them for a certain amount of time and a certain amount for a certain amount of time, they will get airdropped an NFT. So we'll specify those terms, and we'll just read the blockchain. No need to stake. We have like stakeless staking. You don't have to go and lock up your tokens with us or anything like that and what have you. You could actually just read the data on the blockchain, so you can just tell people, hang on to these tokens from this date. It's just like holding stocks for a dividend. You don't have to go and stake your stocks, to get a dividend. You just keep it in your account, and they have an ex-dividend date, and then they have a payout date. And sure, people usually after the dividend payout date dump, but then other people buy because they want to collect the next dividend. So that's kind of how we're trying to do things like they do in the real world. Instead of making things more complicated, which I often think crypto can be more complicated than the real world. So for example, like you go and pay with a credit card, it's real easy, right? You just have that, those little, I can't even remember. This is a problem when you do these things on the fly. But it's just near protocol, not near protocol, but is RFID. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So you have like an RFID chip in your car and you just swipe it to the terminal, you're paid. Where, if you want to go pay with Bitcoin or something, buy your coffee with Ethereum, you go and you have to scan the QR code. You have to open up your wallet, scan the QR code, all this thing, and it takes a few more steps. And then you have to wait maybe, an hour for the transaction to go through, although Ethereum is working faster, it seems. But like Bitcoin, unless you're on this Lightning network. But see, it's all complicated. Like I said, I really like it as far as a ledger technology, storing information. I like the NFTs. I like the games, the mini games. I like how this can be applied to a loyalty program so that you can, it's like, and there is a real world analogy to this. So, I have this paper card at the coffee shop, and I get it stamped every time I have a coffee. I can actually go sell that card. They wouldn't be all the wiser. So that's what a NFT loyalty program can do. It can transfer your loyalty. You collect all the points, and you don't feel like you want that 10th cup of coffee, you can go and put it out on the market and sell it to someone. So it allows you to transfer your equity, as you say, in a brand. You build up equity in a brand or something, and then you can sell it off, and the next person, they can just buy it instead of grinding for years and years to get to that point. Or coffees and coffees. So yeah, that's update number 2. So yeah, the Hugo the Parrot, yeah, that'll be a token drop. You just hold, and the money will go towards a foundation to preserve African gray parrots, and then we'll also make outright donations to established foundations. And then that's those are the kind of projects we like. We really enjoy this. We're talking today to somebody in England about a loyalty project, a consumer loyalty project. I'd given a seminar 2 months ago to EPAM, blockchain professionals, on NFTs and consumer loyalty. And I covered the Reddit case, and I covered the Starbucks case. And then and today I'll be discussing in the media meeting about how Rihanna used NFTs, with her following. But there was a little bit of controversy there, but we can talk about that later. So yeah, that's the news at Restack. We're gonna now be going into some marketing. I guess this is the 4th thing, is building up our Discord and Twitter, and really getting into the marketing and community awareness, because I think we're at this is just my view. I mean, Bitcoin is still bouncing between 28 and 30,000, but I think we're getting close to some end of the interest rate cycle, and I mean that should be a positive. I would hope so. I don't know, but anything can happen. I mean, I just want to give a word of caution. The Fed in the 1970s, 78, I think, raised interest rates all the way up to 18% or something to kill inflation. And so if we have this kind of determined Fed, then everything is off the table. If they want to do it, kill inflation at all costs, meaning breaking the economy. And I'll tell you what, 1978, 1979, those were some hard times. I mean, up to 1980, you had Iran hostage crisis. U.S. economy was like in stagflation, where, you had inflation and unemployment going on at the same time. Kind of like what we got now. And this Paul Volcker, he's still alive. He was an old man then, but he's older now, but he's still kicking, and he's still talking about what he had to do back then. But there's a good historical reference. So there are no guarantees in this space. There are no guarantees. So I would hang on to your daytime jobs. Things can change very fast. We're in the middle of a ideological war and basically a hot war with the East. U.S. and China on ideological war, and Ukraine and Russia. I mean, I'm living in Ukraine in a hot war. I mean, this is, the 70s has a lot of lessons about that you can refer to. So yeah, I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm just, more giving advice to read your history. So I mean, but yeah, my view is like, my view is actually like, okay, if you want to know what I think, my opinion, I'm cautiously optimistic that the interest rate cycles are closer to the end than the beginning, that we're peaking. But I don't know. I don't know. It's like every day there's a different report. One day the U.S. housing is down. Next day unemployment is too low in America. So it's like mixed news. Like, do they have more to go to break the inflation? And a lot of this inflation is kind of a carryover from COVID, that all of a sudden there's this huge amount of demand, and maybe that just has to get worked through the system. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got. Battledome's going good. Hugo the Parrot's been picked up. We're going to do some marketing, social media marketing. And outlook is read your history. So yeah, just read about 1978, 1979 era, Paul Volcker era, for some reference, historical reference. But anyway, take care. I'm almost at the gym. See you. Bye-bye.